when you focus on your passion, when you do what you love, like you tap into the power of the universe that is there to support you, and I think we do love certain things for a reason, and we are here to do those things. Like we came here on earth, to experience what it feels like to create those things, whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be music, it can be painting, dancing, writing, like whatever, sculpting, any creative expression. I think at the core of our being, we are creative beings, and the things that excite us for a reason. And if you act on your excitement like fully, without any expectation on what where it should take you, just for the sake of doing it, just because it feels good doing it, then the sky's the limit. You can get anywhere, like I would never imagine that I would travel to Guatemala, Mexico, Bali, Costa Rica, all those beautiful places, all thanks to music. And this is why I think it's magical, like if you think about it, our thoughts create our reality. And on a quantum physics level, everything is vibration, everything is energy. So, in a sense, the music that you're listening to, the vibrations that you surround yourself with, are creating your reality, And this is what I experienced when I started to making this organic shamanic downtempo music. I was putting jungle sounds in the music. I was visualizing myself being in the jungle, like creating those pictures and atmospheres, and seeing myself being at the river, like working with the shamans and all that stuff. And I was just imagining it, but I was pretty immersed in it, like making a track takes quite some time. So my focus was on that. Half a year later, believe it or not, I'm in Colombia playing at a festival at the Pacific Ocean with the most amazing lineup I could have ever imagined, like it was the holy grail of downtempo festivals, and I was part of the, like lineup. It's insane. And this is how magical it is, like it took me half a year from a deep depression, being super devastated and wanting to kill myself, into being in the jungle, like in the Pacific Coast playing a downtempo festival with my favorite artists and me being one of them, like that's pretty surreal. But this is how magical it can get, when you start to act on your excitement, when you start to live your dream, and that's a beautiful thing. I could have never thought about um, something like this happening to me at all. But this was happening when I was breaking out of the structures, cutting all the bullshit, cutting all the limiting beliefs, and just saying, fuck it. I want to make music, like that's what I enjoy the most. But yeah, this is pretty much how magic life can be, and this is why I encourage you, if you feel like there's something that you would rather do than what you're doing right now, but you feel like you cannot do it because you don't want to lose your security of the job that is providing you this or whatever, it's totally worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And deep inside, that it's true, like deep inside, you're dreaming of a better life, and your soul knows there's a purpose for you. And if you're not living that purpose yet, now is the time, like it's like you have to experience it in order to believe it. But I can tell you my story, like I hope this is proof enough, like my life has changed so dramatically, so incredibly drastically. Like sometimes I wake up and ask myself, is this even real, Because I mean, look at where I am right now. And then just in the course of 3 years, my life shifted rapidly into the most amazing, expansive experiences, And I think anybody can believe that, because I think there's a principle behind it. I think there's a universal law at place. I think life is in general like very supportive to us if we know what we want, and if we act on it, and if we don't listen to other people and just listen to our heart, and just do what excites us because it feels good. That's the only thing that you need to know. What makes you feel good, and then do it. Do it without any expectations, because the mind will tell you, oh yeah, you need to do this in order to get that, and da da da. But guess what? The mind is like super limited, and it can never get the full scope of what the true intelligence behind life knows and wants to happen, So, yeah, it's magic. It's pure magic. And yeah, don't waste any other day of your life, compromising yourself and others fuck it, you know, like you have to do it. You have to jump out of the plane. You don't know if the parachute is opening, but once you're falling and once it opens, it becomes like such a journey, you know, like you got to see the bigger picture. You got to experience yourself in ways you never thought, you know, and life is starting to be fun, you know, and it's gonna be so amazing. I can promise you that, you know, like if you're really like focused. But that's the thing, like you need to be 100% focused on that thing, you know, because otherwise the energy gets confused, and laser beam focus will really get you there really quickly, you know, because yeah, otherwise, you know, like life is always answering your prayers. Everything you think about, every desire that you have, it will be answered in a way. But if there's so many, then the universe doesn't know where to start, right? But if you like really focus and say, okay, so this is what I want to do. In my case, is I want to make music. You know, I don't care. I just want to be in front of the computer and create those worlds where I can feel beautiful, and that I feel inside, and that I somewhat translate into something tangible, audible. That's all I needed to know. And then life is doing the magic for me, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. And I ended up doing the most amazing things. Like I was invited, you know, to curate a label. I have my own medicine music label. I was invited to teach at a music production retreat. Like I'm the co-founder of Inspirit, a holistic music production retreat in Bali. We did our first retreat, the second one in Portugal. Amazing, you know, like all those things, they just happened. I didn't think about them. They were just life showing me, okay, you know, you like making music, you like teaching. Here's something I give to you, which is even more exciting, you know. So like, and it just keeps happening. Like right now, I'm in Costa Rica, you know, and I was invited to produce an album for Darren Nelson Hall. Like that was the most challenging project ever, like a double album, you know. Like we were after the Envision Festival, we were stuck in Costa Rica. Stuck. I know that's a pretty funny thing to say, being in paradise. Life has brought me here, thank God, in this beautiful place. And I was invited to produce this double album, and it was a crazy adventure, you know. But this is the magic, how it works, right? So, what you have to sacrifice is security. And guess what? It's an illusion anyway. Nothing is really secure, and it is a trap, you know, like believing that a job is giving you security. It's a trap because it is limiting you, and you never got to experience the real magic of life, because the magic happens if you surrender and if you just act on your excitement. So yeah, there were many times when I was living without money, you know, like for half a year I was without money in Colombia, you know, in the jungle, because I missed my plane to play at a festival, and that was the last money that I had. And then I was ended up being house sitting for the house of a coffee farmer in the jungle in Colombia. But it was a very productive time. You know, didn't have any money at all. I was eating only rice. But then there were the fruits in the jungle. You know, it was so abundant, and I was just very creative. You know, like I only had 4 hours of day of electricity because it was solar powered and it was a rainy season. But anyway, it was a beautiful time. You know, and another story that I wanted to tell you, which is really amazing, is that in Colombia, the first time I was playing at this insanely beautiful place, you know, like it's called, back in the days, it was called One Love. And I ended up playing there for New Year's, thanks to a friend who invited me there. And I've never seen something like that. It was the most beautiful resort in the middle of the jungle, super luxury. And basically, I was playing there for New Year's because the guy who was running the place, Alan, he is a good friend now, and he loved the music that we did. And so basically, I was staying there a little longer, but then I was shortly running out of money. And I felt like, okay, I have to go to the big city in order to make some money, you know, to do some work, like whatever, do a house ceremony or something like that. And then with the last money I had, I booked a flight to Bogota, the main city of Colombia, and I missed the flight. And I was like, fuck it, I'm so stupid, you know, like here I was speaking no Spanish, having no money, being at the airport of Santa Marta, you know, like I was so desperate. It was like the worst night of my life. I couldn't sleep. I was so desperate, you know. And then I was calling my father, asking him to try to book a flight for me, you know. And this is the magic of life again. at play here. He tried for 1 hour straight. I was on the phone with him saying like, yeah, let's book this flight. And for some reason, it was not working. The website was not refreshing. Datas were missing. Like whatever we tried, he didn't manage to book this flight. And after 1 hour, he said, "Dude, man, fuck it, I'm done." Like I tried an hour. Like I don't know, it's not supposed to happen. And I was like, "Fuck." And then I was calling my friend Alan again. Told him, "Dude, I'm in Santa Marta. I have no money. I'm so desperate. I don't know what to do. I don't speak Spanish. I'm super lost." He said, "No worries, man. Come here. We figured it out." And he ordered me back to the airport, and his driver, who was picking up some guests for the resort, he just took me, man. And that was the beginning of the most amazing time of my life until this point, because I ended up becoming like really good friends with him. I was DJing for like sometimes up to 10 hours a day there, because he really loved to cook, and he had this open kitchen, and he started cooking like at 12. And he wanted me to play music also for the guests, but also for him. So I was playing for lunch, I was playing for dinner, I was playing for in between until late at night, until the guest goes to sleep. And this allowed me to get a lot of material from my podcast. So I was releasing a podcast once a week because I was playing so many sets, and I got really good at DJing, and I was just recording all those sets, and this is how life is supporting you. I had no money whatsoever, but I was in the paradise. I was sleeping in a hut that people pay $150 a night. Because it was like a luxury version of an indigenous house. It has the shape and the material of an indigenous house, but then it had this big ass flat screen and this king size bed. And I was living there, without any money, DJing every day, like like getting all those new tracks and producing a lot. So yeah, life can be so fucking magical once you let go and once you surrender, and it can get scary, of course. Like sometimes I have moments like I have no money and I'm like, shit, how am I going to survive? There's a couple of those moments that you have to navigate through, but then you get really good at trusting. And after 3 months or something, you just trust life. You just trust, okay, the universe has got my back, and yeah, it's such a great feeling, and each day is different. You never know what's going to happen because you don't have this 9 to 5 structure. So yeah, I cannot recommend you enough, like to start acting on your passion, to be able to let go, to release the security, which is just binding you, it's holding you back, it's a trap. And now is the best time ever to do this, like with the old world crumbling and falling apart, all those structures and agendas not working. We need beauty in the world, we need light, and we need your magic, and we need your unique gift, and it's time for you to start living it, and trusting life, trusting that you will be supported beyond anything that you can imagine. Abundance can come in so many ways. It is not just money. Like abundance means to be able to do what you need to do in the moment when you need to do it. And everything you need to do for that, what you need to do, it will be there. If it's money, then it will be there. It's something else, it will be there. You will be provided. You cannot imagine how generous life is and how genius the magic of fabric of your soul is, like that is supporting you in order to fulfill your purpose and live the most beautiful life that you can imagine. And now the sun is getting pretty strong. So maybe we start walking a little bit again.